Europe arms suppliers are raking in profits from the Ukraine war. With a collapsing frontline, losing more land each week to Russian advances, it seems, Ukraine is teetering on the verge of defeat in that nearly 4-year-long war. But as Kyiv braces for another brutal winter war, President Volodymyr Zelensky has announced what he calls a historic deal. Ukraine says it is set to receive 100 French-made Rafale fighter jets. The deal is, for the next 10 years, a massive defense package signed in Paris with President Macron. But then the key question here is, how will Ukraine pay for it? With war draining Kyiv's resources, a war fatigue setting in, Europe is now exploring everything from grants, loans, even frozen Russian assets to finance these jets. And as a result, European arms suppliers stand to profit massively as long as this war continues. This Rafale deal is not just about Ukraine's defense against Russia. It is about industrial boosts, jobs, and also lucrative weapons market. Let's just zoom into this. Zelensky, on his 9th trip to Paris since the war started in 2022, declared the Rafale deal as a historic moment. The agreement came as Ukraine braces for yet another winter of Russian bombardment, with energy grids, rail networks, civilian infrastructure under constant attack.
Every launching system, all this means the protection of each life. It is very important. Also, missile and guided bombs are necessary for our defense. I want to stress the importance of this agreement. This is a strategic agreement that will work for 10 years, starting next year. We understand all the basics of this agreement, political, financial, industrial. It is a historic deal.
And the thing is, questioned over the financing of the deal, Zelensky said Ukraine was examining the possible co-production of the French-made jets. The Rafale is a multi-role 4th-generation fighter jet, similar in role to the American F-16, capable of carrying out long-range bombing, dog-fighting tasks in the same mission. It is battle-tested, and France has seen broad success exporting the Rafale, including to India. France has previously provided Kyiv with Mirage jets, which form the backbone of France's aerial bomber force. The French aviation firm behind the Rafale is looking to boost its production output to 4 fighter jets per month, and the company has said it has 233 jets still on order as of October 7, reportedly. Now, the agreement signed on Monday is therefore merely a letter of intent in a way, still a way of concrete purchase, which is why questions have emerged as to how Ukraine will be paying for the French jets. When Ukraine signed a letter of understanding for 100 to 150 Swedish-made jets in October in a letter to the European Union members on Monday, the European Commission president suggested that Ukraine had 3 options, independently or in combination, to meet its financing needs. She said these were grants from a loan funded by EU borrowing or loan linked to the cash balance of frozen Russian assets. The Elysee Palace also said that European financing could be used for the purchases as well as financing from frozen Russian assets. These jets are important for Ukraine's depleting aerial defense capabilities, especially as the war continues to rage unabated overnight. Russian drones sparked fires across the Dnipro, damaging more than 20 vehicles, 6 residential buildings, a media office, a radio studio, local businesses. 2 people were injured. Ukraine's public broadcaster has said its Dnipro office suffered major damage. The roof collapsed, the floors caved in, the windows were blown out. Rail services also were impacted, with reports about damaged train cars and delays across multiple routes there. According to Ukraine's Air Force, Russia launched 4 Iskander-M ballistic missiles and over 110 strikes, as well as decoy drones overnight, of which 101 were reportedly intercepted or jammed by Ukraine. 13 drones, 4 missiles still made impact. Meanwhile, Russia claimed that its forces struck 142 targets across Ukraine. Russian forces struck Ukraine's fuel depots, energy sites, rail hubs, as well as drone storage facilities, positions held by Ukrainian troops and foreign fighters. Moscow says it destroyed tanks, armored vehicles, artillery, and ammunition depots. With the Rafale jet deal, Macron has vowed long-term support to Ukraine, not only military but also civilian and economic cooperation. Zelensky called the signing a historic moment for France and Ukraine. And as Ukraine fights to hold the line, its deal with France is one of Kyiv's most significant defense wins. Even as the battlefield situation grows increasingly dire, it also says that European arms suppliers will continue to rake in profits as long as the war continues.
To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.